The Star Wars spin-offs have a tricky line to walk. On one hand, they have to fill in the backstories of some of the most famous characters in movie history. On the other, they have to retain some of the mystery that made them so beloved in the first place. You just have to see how badly George Lucas botched Boba Fett, saddling him with untold daddy issues in the prequels, to see how tricky it's going to be. But, still, they keep coming. As well as the troubled young Han Solo movie, there's now likely to be a young Obi-Wan movie, a young Jabba the Hutt movie and, yes, another crack at a young Boba Fett movie. At this rate, it's only a matter of time before every peripheral Star Wars character in history ends up with their own spin-off. But some characters do not deserve such treatment. These are those characters. Jar Jar Binks. The Farce Awakens. Theoretically, there is a great Jar Jar Binks movie to be made, one that expands upon the internet theory suggesting that he was a villain hidden in plain sight all along. That film would follow his participation, and inexplicable survival, in several Jedi battles, along with his reward for granting Palpatine unchecked power in the Senate. It would be a great movie, but not as great a movie as where Jar Jar Binks falls down a manhole and slowly dies of starvation. And even that wouldn't be as great as no film whatsoever. Looking for love, Uncle in Star Wars The Force Awakens. Photograph Disney Lucasfilm. Uncle 1/4 portion of my heart. Uncle is the Carl Fredricksen of The Force Awakens, a grizzled, spiteful old coot taking his curdled disenchantment out on the world 1/4 portion at a time. But what if spiteful greed wasn't his default? What if he only got to that place after experiencing monumental heartbreak? Essentially, his spin-off would be the first 10 minutes of Up Writ Large. We watch Platt fall in love. We watch him make plans with his new wife, then watch as day-to-day mundanities push his dream further and further away. We watch as she gets sick and dies. Better yet, we get a sequel where Uncle Platt ties his shop to a bunch of balloons and goes on an adventure with Bobiho and the talking dog. Salacious B. Crumb. Better call Salacious. No Star Wars character is as instantly unlikable as Salacious B. Crumb, the shrill, cackling monkey lizard who served as Jabba the Hutt's sycophantic jester. But how did Crumb come to be such a pathetic figure? Our prequel would trace his early days as a petty thief turned would-be lawyer, watching with helpless anguish as his infinitesimal ethical breaches slowly start to pile up and consume him, pushing away those he loves most and corrupting his very soul. He'll be there for you. Chewbacca with Han Solo in Star Wars The Force Awakens. Photograph film frame at Chewbacca. All the world needs a Chewbacca spin-off like it needed a Joey from Friends spin-off. Chewie is good as a sidekick, great, even, but what could he possibly do alone, aside from look at things and growl? Here's my idea: a straight remake of Perix un Omki Dort, where Chewbacca listlessly walks the streets of 1970s Paris while a female Wookiee narrator chides him for his indifference in subtitled Shiri Wook. You'd watch that, right? More Nadan. A history of agriculture. Some people believe that the Star Wars sequels have strayed too far from the prequels and the message of complicated trade negotiations. How better to counter this than by giving More Nadan his own film? You'll remember Nadan as the hammerhead frog thing who was in the cantina scene from A New Hope for a couple of seconds. He was retrospectively given the complicated backstory that largely revolved around the cultivation and destruction of a pioneering agricultural technology. Finally, the sequel that The Phantom Menace deserves. Constable Zuvio. Member me. Constable Zuvio was supposed to be a key part of The Force Awakens. A policeman tasked with upholding justice in the Wild West of Nema Outpost, he featured on official promotional artworks and was made into a range of action figures. But then, when the film was released, his role was reduced to approximately 3 frames of screen time. Zuvio deserves an entire film of his own. It doesn't matter what that film is. Just a lot of scenes of him sitting around playing with a fidget spinner would do. Anything to make me look less stupid for buying a Constable Zuvio action figure before The Force Awakens came out.